and chances how to find and how to build creative spaces for the artist. And I was thinking that maybe it would be more interesting if I tell you my story. And because it's everything related to today's topics, and maybe it would be more interesting for you to follow this lecture because it's a concrete what already happened. And please be interactive. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to stop me. I would be happy to change the ideas and listen your comments as well. But yes, I started my first artistic place. It was so that I bought an apartment here in Budapest, a quite big apartment, 200 square meters that was not renovated. The renovation was done last like end of the 60s, beginning of 70s. And I was thinking what to do with that. And I had some young artist friends here, and they were desperately looking for the space to work, the studios, which is not very easy to find in the center of the big cities, especially with little money. So I agreed first with a Georgian painter, Lado Potskua, and I gave him one of these big rooms from this quite large apartment. They were like this 35 square meter salons. And he started to paint over there. And the word of mouth was spreading, and there were some other artists contacting me. There was one writer as well, author from America, who saw this apartment and asked me if I can rent a few rooms for her because it was feeling like an Dostoevsky novel. That she would be living in the Dostoevsky novel over there because it was really empty apartment. So she took her mattress and she was sleeping on the floor, and she wrote her third novel in that room, in that apartment. So I was a very good friend with some of the diplomats and foreigners here, and whenever there were foreigners coming to visit Budapest, they asked me if they can visit also the studio apartment, and we made organized visits, and happily, luckily, some of the paintings were also sold by these artists, and people liked them. There was another artist taking one room, another room, and these artists, I didn't take any money from them, any rent, but occasionally I could choose some paintings as a payment for the rent and common cost and the electricity and water. So the artist didn't have to pay anything. I always told the artists that they are making their own money because they are making the paintings that they are selling. So for me, it was enough. And actually, that was also a good way for me to start collecting the contemporary art pieces. And I could always choose the items what I wanted, what I liked the most. So it was a mutual interest, actually. And now I have a quite nice collection, not only because of this, but that was a start of my collection as well. And this happened 2000 and I think 2006 or 2007. And so it was working very, very well. It became quite famous, this studio, and really when Hungary was the president of the European Union for half a year. We had very many delegations coming from Finland, and because I'm from Finland, you know, one of my best friends was here as an ambassador. So all the ministerial delegations were also visiting that studio apartment, and tens of paintings were sold to the members of these delegations. So it was working very, very well, especially for the artists, because they also got money from those visits. And of course, they got all the money. You know, I didn't have the gallery at that time. I was not working as a gallerist. I was working just as a how do you say, supporter of the arts. So the artists could keep all the money what they made, what they get from the paintings. So this was going on quite many years. And then 2009, I finally opened my own art gallery because the artists were pushing me to open the art gallery because we were already selling over there. I used to also organize all type of salon concerts in my own residence in the same building, and every month I had a concert, and in that concert place also I sometimes took down my own paintings and put up some artist paintings during the concerts. So we were also exhibiting paintings in these events. There were some 40 to 70 people coming for these private concerts. Every month was one concert. So that was another thing or other idea how we made publicity for these artists. And then 2009, I found a little village here in Hungary, and I started to organize in the village some concerts, exhibitions, and there no high culture happenings had ever happened in that village since the Second World War, when the count, the aristocratic family had left the village. And there was a huge castle which has been standing empty, and it was owned by Hungarian state, of course, because it was socialized from the Zu-Pappenheim family. And since 1980, the main building had been standing empty. So with the great help of the Finnish ambassador here in Budapest, we managed to rent that main building. In 2012, the Finnish president came and opened it officially. And I started in the village already 2 years before, 2010, I started an international artist camp. And these little concerts, exhibitions, what I have been organizing there since 2019, a little bit made fame for the village, who was just a sleeping village. And then I started this international artist camp 2010, and in a couple of years' time, the artist camp in the chateau became one of the most famous international artist camps in Hungary. And we had artists all over the world coming over there for 10 days. It was totally free for the artists, and they were living in the chateau with me. And we had a beautiful Baroque garden in front of the chateau, and an English garden, which was totally ruined, but it was very artistic. So until 2022, we were having every summer this international artist camp over there. Also, my gallery moved in the chateau during the summer times, so we had a lot of visitors coming for the exhibition openings, continued the concerts over there, and some master classes and other cultural events. And this was going on very, very well. We got a lot of publicity because, of course, it was a little bit strange that the foreigner comes to Hungary and rents a castle and starts cultural activities over there. And suddenly the foreigners are just pouring to this little village. And they were, the villagers hadn't seen so many different kind of nationalities. And and so it was very interesting for the foreigners as well. So the village even there was a little shop, and even the shop owner was renovating the whole shop because Ari's guests, international guests are coming. So the village also was into this, and they started to support my activities because they saw that the village is getting media coverage as well. And so also the local the cooperation with the local government was very important and vital. Of course, I invited the mayor and the leadership of the village to all these events what I had, because it was of course interesting for my guests also to see the mayor and the leaders of the village. And of course, for the mayor, it was very important that our village became international and popular among the artists. And we became so popular that also some embassies, they started to contact me, and we had cooperation with the embassies. And different kind of like with the Indian embassy, we had plans for the international yoga courses and international Indian art fairs as well. I had a fantastic cooperation with the Indonesian embassy as we made an artist exchange project where 7 Indonesian artists came to Hungary for 2 weeks, and I chose 4 Hungarian young artists whom we took to Indonesia for 2 weeks for the fantastic tour over there. And also here in Hungary as well, in Indonesia, we were visiting the artist studios, museums, cultural places, cultural heritages, and it was very interesting. All the artists, they had to paint 5 paintings. About Indonesians have to paint 5 paintings about Hungary, what the images were about Hungary, and Hungarians had to paint 5 paintings of the images they saw and experienced in Indonesia. After that, we had a huge exhibition in Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia, and then the paintings were shipped back to Hungary, and we had a fantastic exhibition, huge exhibition opening of these works here in Budapest. So just the media was a big helper in these events. So without the media coverage that something strange was happening, I don't think that we would have been as popular, but we were continuously in the media, especially the local media over there in that county where the castle was. And almost every week they were mentioning, every second week they were mentioning us, because we had cultural programs all the time. And same continued in Budapest during the winter time, because the castle was used only in the summer. And in the winter time, we moved back to Budapest, and I continued the exhibitions, of course, in the gallery, and the concerts in my residence, and still having some art pieces always exhibited during these concerts as well. But how to get the people to these kind of events? That is, of course, a big question at the beginning. When you find out something new, it's, of course, usually it starts very slowly. But if you have connections, use them, publish. The social media is fantastic. Nowadays, Ari Kupsus Gallery is not using anymore web page so much, because if you post something in the in the social media that's covering, that's, how do you say it? It reaches internationally so fast. In a couple of hours' time, people can see a picture posted or some information posted in the social media. It just flies throughout the world very, very fast. And so that has become, we have noticed for our case, that has become the most important advertisement forum for our activities. And the social media is great because once somebody in America or in Germany checks something, also his friends or her friends will notice that he has checked this one and liked this one, and so you know how it spreads the word. It has been also from the selling point of view, it has been quite good, actually, better than just showing the pieces here in the gallery. During the last years, it happened that not only here in Hungary, but I talked to some of my Scandinavian and German colleagues as well, the gallerists, that everybody has the same experience, that nowadays the exhibition openings are very important. People are coming to see the works during the exhibition opening. But after that, there is not very many people coming to see the exhibitions anymore. That's why we are trying to sometimes organize a finishas or some other activities, meeting with the artist or some other events related to the exhibition theme to get people. So this is what we have been talking also, that should we create an online exhibition after the exhibition opening, because we also see that people are checking the paintings nowadays, especially the younger generation. They are checking the exhibiting paintings online after the exhibition opening. The older generation is still coming and seeing them in person. So to keep these people, the young group, the older group, all kind of people, to keep them interested, we need to work a lot and try to find these, as I mentioned before, these activities, and then to make people to move. And after COVID, there is a quite big change also for the mass happenings. There are quite many people that I know, even among my friends and my family, who are not going anymore to the events where there are plenty of people. So they are also checking mainly online. So that's why the online posting on online, keeping online how to say, fresh all the time, it's very important. So yeah, do you have any questions or comments?
Maybe,
No.
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I have a
Okay.
question. Speaking for the Funnylicious Theater Group, we do
Sorry.
improv. I have a question. Speaking
Yes.
for the Funnylicious Theater Group in Slovakia, Bratislava, we have a lot
Mhm.
of improv performances, acting performances, theater performances. Would you maybe think, something that's not quite can be quite viewed like an exhibition? Would you maybe say that live streaming the performance on social media would be an effective solution?
I would say, as I think, next to the live performance, I'm sure that it's also interesting. And where do you have these performances? In the gallery?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because usually these performances, they also take space, quite a lot of space. So if you don't have podium for these kind of performances, not all the people will see it either. So I think it would be very interesting to shoot, to film it and
Okay.
put it afterwards, but always do it only afterwards, because
Afterwards.
it's like we when we do have some events, we don't post the pictures before the exhibition opening, only the next day, because that also keeps some of the people that are not they will not come if you post online the same day the event what is happening. But I'm sure that you have likes, because this is also a good publicity, because you tag it with your gallery name and you tag it with maybe the performers as well. So it's a very good publicity for them as well. And online, it goes so well around the world. So the names are also being seen, and your gallery tag is going to be seen. I think it's a very good. This is what we are doing also. But I am thinking also to have the online exhibitions organized very soon. Now we have a pause here in the Kupsus gallery because something happened with the castle, and I had to empty the castle and move all the interiors to Budapest. So now, as you see from the back here, oh, there are some contemporary paintings as well, but my gallery is now full of antiques. And so for 1.5 years now, we haven't been able to have exhibitions here because we had 140 Baroque paintings in the chateau, and they were put up here on the walls, and all the furniture, 32 rooms, we had to empty. So, but gallery is getting empty little by little. So soon I think that in the autumn time next year we will again start having contemporary exhibitions here when we get rid of these antique things little by little. So now, if you check the gallery page there, it's a little bit slow motion now because of this. But yes, but this is we are planning to do now during this period that we don't have the exhibition place here in the gallery. We are planning to do the online exhibitions, and let us see. That will be like a test. How would it work, and how we reach the people now after 1 year, 1.5 years slow motion period. So that was a very good question. Thank you. I was offered 13 castles after that. 13 people who owned the castles, they contacted me because they wanted to all have the cultural events, what I was organizing over there. These were 10 castles were in Hungary, one in Slovakia, one in Austria, and one in France. But I didn't want to start at once doing something with these. And some of the castles were quite far away from Budapest. My chateau was good because it was only 1 hour drive from Budapest. And every event, what I organized, some 60% of the visitors, of the guests, they came from Budapest, from the capital area. And that's also very important to think when you think of having some kind of cultural place or creating a cultural place. You have to check that the transportation is good over there. It's easy for people to come. People are so may I say lazy nowadays that they don't want to trouble the complicated traveling systems or whatever. So and especially here in Hungary, when all the receptions we are serving wine and palinka, so there has to be possibility for using the public transportation as well. At least here in Hungary, I noticed that it's important. So the most of these castles in Hungary, they were quite remote places, at least 2.5 hours drive from Budapest, and that I felt that it's too far. So far didn't I didn't start anything. But interesting that exactly today, before coming here, I was in the reception. There was a Hungarian heritage house had an exhibition opening, and there is also some of my clothes exhibited. And there, one person contacted me and said that, Ari, I want you to help my friend to find a castle and to have some cultural activities over there. So people still remember, and let us see. Maybe it will come. Maybe it will come. Yes, I also have negotiations at the moment with one castle it's actually a fortress in Transylvania in Romania, and that's also interesting place to organize to organize an international artist camp. And Transylvania, of course, it's exotic, and then I already have several artists who have told that they are coming. Also, even the Dutch National Choir has contacted me from Holland, and they are also interested in coming to perform over there. But I also have several years already. I have been planning also to organize an international artist camp in India, because I have a very good friend over there. He's coming from the one of the India royal families, and they have a very nice summer place with 5 villas. Some of the villas are very run down, but it's a nice area uh, inside the 4 meters high walls surrounded by the village. And that would be very interesting place for the artists to work for some time. And actually, the princess is also an artist, this Indian princess, and she has been 2 times in my artist camp in Iskasanjör, so she knows what I'm doing. And with her, we are planning in the near future to start an artist camp. But in India, it's very difficult to find sponsors, so that could not be for free as it was in Iskasanjör in this Hungarian castle. But these are also under the negotiation, and let us see. Let us see. I could suggest all of you, if you are interested in, or with your gallerist, you can start creating an art space from quite scratches, actually, like I did. I did the first thing that this apartment thing, or I just started to organize in this little village. I made an agreement with a mayor and I asked if I can start organizing concerts and exhibitions, and they're very positive. So we started actually from nothing in the village, and it was new thing for the village. So all the villagers, they started to support and help a lot, and then it just grew. So I advise you to be brave, and yeah, if you have any plans, do not hesitate to at least to try, and try several times. And yeah, we were successful, and I hope that all of you will be also with your art projects. So I think this is what I wanted to tell. And if there are any questions, we have few minutes, I think then 2 minutes left more. So I'm happy to answer or hear your comments.
maybe I could ask. Hi, this is Jennifer. Can you hear
Sorry?
me? Hi, yeah, I just wanted to ask. My name is Jennifer.
Yep.
Yeah, I was wondering if you could, maybe you mentioned it, but if you could mention a bit more about like the funding aspect of how you were like funding the events and things that you were creating.
Yes. Partly I was funding it from my own pocket, partly from my gallery. And for example, the International Artist Camp was also sponsored by the local government. So, because I was already renting the chateau, the castle, so there were no living costs extra, except of course the water and the electricity, but then those I was covering. And the local government was supporting us, and they served the lunch, dinner, and the breakfast, and that was all free for the artist. So I didn't make any money about it. It was just a wonderful cultural event for me, and I loved to live 10 days with the artist and different kind of artists. So we really made it very, very, how do they, with little funding. And then we could also borrow the minibus from the local government. And so we can go to Balaton and to other neighboring castles. We went for the concerts and so on. So that artist camp was funded uh, by my gallery, me myself, and local government.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah, it seems like it's such a nice way to create community around art and supporting artists. And I'm just wondering if you think, I know we don't have time, but if you think that times have really changed and if there's less of these kinds of activities now. But we can talk about it maybe later, just so, because I know there's no time.
Is there any time left?
We have less than 1 minute now.
Less than 1 minute. So, okay, no, then there is no time to answer. But thank you. This was very interesting. I hope that I didn't bore you this with this story. And but this is what happened in Hungary within last 20 years. It was my pleasure. Thank you, all of you who were listening, and I hope you all the best with your artworks and art career.
Thank you.